Hey guys, Justin here with a Craigslist deal, and this was definitely the sketchiest Craigslist deal I have ever done. Might be the sketchiest Craigslist deal I will ever do. I was seriously this close from just saying screw it and calling it off because it was seriously that bad, but I had my cousin and Ryan with me when I went to pick up the stuff, so it made me feel a little bit better about it, and obviously I'm still alive. So anyway, I got a couple systems with the deal, along with a bunch of different games for a bunch of different systems actually, so I'll start out by showing the systems we got. Here's an N64 here, just a standard gray or black, whatever you want to call it, but luckily it did come with the expansion pack in there, which was awesome. I very rarely ever find N64 systems in the wild that have the expansion pack, so that was very cool. Unfortunately though, the only controller that came with it was this third-party like shark pad controller, which will probably be used as another golf ball. That'll make sense to those of you who saw our last video. And also it has a Performance brand memory card in there. And as for the adapters, we got a first-party power adapter, but again, a Performance brand coaxial here, which is actually for a GameCube. Obviously, it'll work in the N64 as well, but you guys know how I feel about these things. I'm in desperate need right now of some official N64 AV cords because I think this is probably the fourth or fifth system now that I have that's complete aside from the AV cords. So definitely looking out for some first-party AV cords. But anyway, the other system I got with the deal was a Model 1 Sega Genesis, which is extremely dirty, but looks like it should clean up okay. And that came with two first-party controllers and both first-party adapters. So, haven't tested any of that stuff yet. Hoping it works, obviously, but just because those were the only two systems I got doesn't mean that those are the only two systems I got games for. Like I said, I got a bunch of different games for a bunch of different systems here. I will start out with the N64 games first, though. Now, the first thing I saw when I looked into the bag of games that I was getting was this. A box Majora's Mask for the N64. Now, I knew Majora's Mask was coming with the deal because he had sent me pictures of all the stuff that I was getting, but he just sent me a picture of the cartridge. He didn't mention that he had the box, and actually the manual's in here too. This is a complete copy. So it's definitely a cool bonus to see that it was complete. It is the collector's edition here. If you guys saw one of our previous videos, you saw that I recently upgraded my Complete in Box Collector's Edition to a Complete in Box Non-Collector's Edition, which doesn't sound like much of an upgrade, but actually, like I said in that other video, the non-collector's edition is significantly more uncommon than this collector's edition. This is the one with the hologram label, the one with the paper label. The non-collector's edition is significantly more uncommon. And so I still am actually looking for a collector's edition complete in box for my collection, but unfortunately though this box is not in very good condition. Significantly creased on the top there. And this was actually worse than the box that I originally wanted to upgrade. So unfortunately, won't be keeping this for my collection, but I'll probably sell this off and use that money to buy a good condition collector's edition for my collection. And that was the only box game I got. The rest of these are just loose cartridge here, and I just got a few of them, but there's actually some pretty good titles in here. We got Cruisin' USA, Donkey Kong 64, with which in combination with Majora's Mask would explain the expansion pack. We got Mario Kart 64, Castlevania, the first Castlevania for the N64, Super Mario 64, and finally we got Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, the black cartridge, which I already have. Actually, I already have the gray cartridge too. And that was all the N64 games I got. I'll move on to the Genesis games next. Of course, I got a copy of Sonic 2, and this one is complete. Actually, this was the only box game that came with this deal. All the rest of these Genesis games are, unfortunately, loose cartridge. And there's actually a couple pretty good games in here, so it's unfortunate that they're all loose. But anyway, I'll show you guys what we got here. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Mega Hit Series, so it must have been a very late release of this title. We got Fatal Fury 1 and Fatal Fury 2. We got Samurai Showdown, and X-Men, and X-Men 2 Clone Wars. And then these last two Genesis games were the better ones. We got Double Dragon 5 The Shadow Falls, which I do own for the Super Nintendo as well. I remember when I got it for the Super Nintendo, I was so excited to try it out, and then I realized it was a tournament fighter. It's not like a standard Double Dragon beat-em-up. It's a tournament fighter. At least it was on the Super Nintendo. I'm assuming this Genesis version is the same. Usually they are the same, or at least pretty close to the same. you know, I don't think this is worth a whole lot. The one on the Super Nintendo isn't worth that much, and I'm assuming, you know, a loose cartridge Genesis version isn't going to be worth any more than that. But it'd definitely be cool to get this one complete for sure. So if it's worth it to sell this and then upgrade to a complete box copy, I will definitely do it. But anyway, the last Genesis game I got here is definitely the best one that came with the deal. And again, unfortunate that it's loose cartridge, but it's Castlevania Bloodlines. And you know, I think this loose cart goes for, you know, 22 bucks on eBay, and I bet that I can get a complete box copy for under 30. I'm hoping. So I think I'm probably just going to sell this loose cartridge and then use the money to buy a complete box copy, because I definitely love to have this game complete in box. I don't want to keep it if it's not complete in box, you know. So I'll definitely try that out. I'll let you guys know how that goes. But anyway, that was all the Genesis games I got too. I did not get an NES system with this deal, but I actually got a nice stack of NES games here. Some pretty good ones that I do already have, and some pretty good ones that I don't already have. So I'll show you guys what we got here. This first one here is one of the pretty good ones that I don't actually already have, and that's Donkey Kong Jr., which isn't a real expensive game. I think it's like an $8 or $10 game. It's pretty uncommon though, and I think this is one of those black box games, or at least those older games that, you know, if you can find a complete in box copy of this game, it's worth like 10 times as much as the loose cartridge. It's the same with like Donkey Kong Jr. Math. I know that one complete in box is very expensive. We got Top Gun. And we got a Capcom game here, which I've talked about before in our videos. That's Little Nemo Dream Master. A very, very cool game. It's a very childish game, but it's one of those games that, even though it's childish, it's still fun for like anyone to play. I mean, if that makes any sense at all, probably not, but check this game out. It's pretty good. We got Arkista's Ring here, which I do already have, but my cartridge actually has a huge chip out of one of the front corners. So I've definitely been looking to upgrade it. Now I'm glad that I finally can. Don't know what I'm going to do with my old one, but we got Airwolf. So this next game here, when he sent me the pictures of the games, this is pretty much what I saw. As you can see, it's got the Flintstones logo right there, and I was like, what are the chances that that could be Surprise at Dinosaur Peak? And it's not. It's just the rescue of Dino and Hoppy. But still, I didn't actually have this game, so that was very cool to get this one. We got RC Pro-Am, a 5-screw of Ghosts and Goblins, Dragon Warrior, first one, Low G-Man, which I found at Goodwill not too long ago. We got TMNT 1 with the manual, actually. Definitely in the market for a good condition box for this game. I have TMNT 2 and 3, actually pretty mint condition, complete in box, so I'm definitely looking out for a good condition box for this game. Just don't want to pay too much for it, because it's not that rare to come across that game complete or anything. Very common game. But we got Solstice, one of the better games that I do already have, Battletoads. And I don't know, this one's in pretty good shape. I'm not sure if it's better than the one I already have or not, but just see, I might be switching that one out for mine. We got a gold cartridge Legend of Zelda, a 5-screw Rygar, a 5-screw Excitebike, got Milon's Secret Castle here. Everyone knows how great this game is. And then finally, another one of the better games that I do already have, Tecmo Super Bowl. One of the few sports games on the NES that is actually worth something. I just sold the last copy I had of this game for 15 bucks. This one's a little beat up, but I'm sure it'll probably still go for $15. Definitely one of my favorite NES games too. I know I rip on sports games all the time, but seriously, Tecmo Super Bowl is quite possibly the greatest sports game ever made. Played the crap out of this when I was a kid, and I still love playing it today. And the one on the Super Nintendo is great as well, or at least the first one. And that was all for the NES games I got there. Like I said, wish he had a system, but I don't know what happened to that. I'll show, I got this stack of original Xbox games here. I'll show these next. Got Crimson Skies here. And this seriously has to be one of the most common games for the original Xbox. I see this game everywhere. I've passed up multiple copies at garage sales last summer. I've seen it at thrift stores, and now I get it in a Craigslist deal. But it is complete inside of here. And actually, I think all but like 2 of these games are complete, so I'm not going to open all of them. But the discs on them are, some of the discs are a little bit scratched, but they should all play, so I'm not too concerned about it. We got Project Gotham Racing, a Capcom game that I'd never heard of before, Steel Battalion. I don't know, it looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like a mech shooter or something like that, but I don't know, I figured since it's Capcom, it's got to be worth a few dollars anyway. Spider-Man 2. One of the winners here, a Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. It's very cool. It has Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Third Strike. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So, very cool. Usually these Street Fighter collections are, again, worth something anyway. Some of them more than others. We got New Legends, which looks like a pretty cool game. Never heard of it before. Cabela's Deer Hunt 2005 season. And believe it or not, I actually do enjoy these Cabela's games, or at least the ones that were made, 2005, 2006 era. Those are the good ones. I have a 2005 one on the GameCube. My cousin and I played that non-stop all one summer. I don't know why. Like, I mean, obviously, it's not like you're really out there hunting or anything like that. But I don't know. It's still pretty entertaining to me. We got NFL 2K5, NBA Jam, which I didn't even know they made on the Xbox. Madden 2004. Outlaw Golf here, which is one of the few golf games that I've ever played and thoroughly enjoyed. I do have it on the GameCube now, but I originally played this on the Xbox, and this game is just absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's got commentary from Steve Carell. It's just, some of the stuff he says it's stupid, but it's really funny. And you have like a composure meter in this game, so if you do bad, you start losing your composure, and then you can just like beat the shit out of your caddy and gain all your composure back. Absolutely hilarious game. So if you like golf, or even if you don't like golf, check this game out. It's pretty good. And the only reason I even have games from my original Xbox is because they're these Outlaw series games. I think the only one they made on the GameCube was this Outlaw Golf, the first one, but the Xbox had Outlaw Golf 2, like Outlaw Golf Volleyball like Red Hot, Outlaw Tennis. They had actually 2 Christmas versions of this game, Outlaw Golf, like 9 Holes of Xmas 1 and 2, or something ridiculous like that. And I seriously have like all of them, and they're fun to play from time to time for sure. We got Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, which is a Platinum Hits version. Still looking out for this game on the GameCube. I need a Black Label copy complete on the GameCube. I've just been looking for it for so long. I don't want to spend more than like $4 for it because I know it's not worth any more than that, but I haven't come across it yet. So, MTV Celebrity Deathmatch. I really got nothing for this. I don't even know. This was a show on MTV, I think, wasn't it? And then the last Xbox game I got was Star Wars The Clone Wars, and then it has the Tetris Worlds on it as well, which I think must have been a pack-in with a system. And I was kind of confused about these Xbox games as well, because I swear, in the pictures he sent me, I swear he had like twice as many Xbox games as this, or at least a few more anyway. I saw he had Halo, and I didn't get Halo with this. I don't know like what happened to some of these games that I was supposed to get, but again, I mean, it was still an awesome deal for what I paid. It's just I kind of wish I would have got everything that he sent me pictures of, but whatever. This last stack of games I'm going to show here, these are all PS1 games. And the cool part about these was I knew I was getting them with the deal, but he didn't send me pictures or a list of what these games were. He just told me he had some PS1 games, and he was asking a cheap enough price for them that I really didn't care what they were. Obviously, I was hoping they weren't all like sports games, like loose disc sports games or whatever, but I figured there'd be something in there that was worth it, and they actually got some pretty good games in here. So we got a Greatest Hits Loaded, which I'm not sure what it is. Looks kind of like Carnival or like House of the Dead or something. I don't think it's a light gun game, but I don't know. And these next 4 are actually pretty cool. We got Mega Man 8 Anniversary Collector's Edition, which I already have Mega Man 8, but I'm not sure if mine is the Collector's Edition or not. It says it comes with a full-color anthology booklet. So I don't know if that came like just in the case separate or if that's part of the manual, because I flipped through the manual. I didn't see any like art book or anything like that. But anyway, so if anyone knows about that, let me know. And then we got Mega Man X4, Mega Man X5, and Mega Man X6. So very cool to get that trilogy there. These PS1 ones aren't worth nearly as much as like the Mega Man X games on the Super Nintendo or anything, but they're still very cool games. I'm very glad that I got all 4 of them. Still looking out for Mega Man Legends and Mega Man Legends 2. I don't have those ones yet. And probably the coolest game PS1 game that I got anyway was Final Fantasy Anthology, and it's complete inside of here. There's the disc for Final Fantasy V, and then the disc for Final Fantasy VI, I believe, back here, and then like the soundtrack. which is very cool. I mean, Final Fantasy VI was, let's see, Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo in North America, and Final Fantasy V never got released in North America, so I've never played that one. Might have to check that one out with Ryan. That sounds like it'd be quite fun, actually. I really enjoy the Super Nintendo one. Some of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo are the Final Fantasy games. So it's very cool to get this, especially complete. I mean, the manual is a little bit worn, but I'm not going to complain about that. The discs look decent anyway. They just got some surface scratches, and I think the only Final Fantasy games I'm missing for the PS1 now are Chronicles and Tactics, I believe. So once I get those two, I should have all of them. And then the rest of these, unfortunately, are just loose disc PS1 games, and it's unfortunate because there's actually a couple games in here that I would love to have complete, but see if I can maybe sell the discs and buy some complete copies. But we got Cool Borders 4, we got Twisted Metal 3, Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, Vigilante 8 Second Offense, Area 51, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is, judging from the top of the disc, I think is probably the greatest hits version of this game, just because it's got a silver top to the disc instead of a white one. I don't know what the original one looked like, but I had the greatest hits version a while back, and I think it looked like this. And then underneath it, actually, is a copy of Independence Day for the PS1. I think this was the only PS1 game that AVGN ever reviewed, so if that tells you how good it is right there. We got Dino Crisis. Actually, this is just the demo disc for Dino Crisis. NFL Blitz 2001, and then these last two here are the best two for sure. We got Legend of Legaia, which I know is like an RPG. I've heard a lot of people talk about it here on YouTube. I've never owned it. Like I said, unfortunately, it's loose disc, and the disc it's got a ton of surface scratches on it. I mean, there's nothing deep. Like, I'm sure it'll still play, but I'm probably going to have to get it resurfaced if I want to sell it and upgrade to a complete copy. And on top of that, the top of the disc has like some scratches towards the edge. I don't know if you guys can see those or not, but I'm hoping that's not going to keep it from playing because, like I said, I really like to try out this game and possibly get a complete copy. And then this last game here was one I've never heard of before. I just kind of passed it up when I was looking through the games, but Ryan was like, wait a minute, that's a Squaresoft game. And it is God Bless the Ring, Easy Urgize. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but that's what it looks like there. Like I said, it's a Squaresoft right here, and it's got like an anime-looking character on the disc, so I'm assuming it's pretty legit. I might have to try this one out to see what it is, and then decide whether I want to get it complete or not. I don't think it's real expensive. I think I looked it up. It's not like a really rare game or anything like that, but it's worth something. And again, unfortunately, the disc has a ton of like surface scratches on it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Probably not, but there's nothing deep. But it's ton of surface scratches. I'm assuming it'll still play, but if I want to sell it, I'm probably going to have to get it resurfaced. But it's probably definitely worth it for a game like this. But anyway, though, I believe that was all I got with the deal. Obviously, I got to tell you guys what I paid for it. $125 for all of that. And like I said, I was supposed to get a few. I was supposed to get that Ocarina of Time, and I was supposed to get. I swear, I was supposed to get at least 5 or 6 more original Xbox games. I don't know what happened to those, but still, you know, for $125 and some gas money, it was like probably like a 20-minute drive to this guy's house and then 20 minutes back. But it was still a pretty awesome deal. Very sketchy, but in the end, I think it was definitely worth it, and I'm very happy to have a few of these games from my collection, and I'm very happy to have at least the opportunity to maybe upgrade like a game like this to complete in box. Maybe get some better Genesis titles in my collection. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out the whole video, and until next time, take it easy.